の時間なのだ。この動画は英語に少しでも慣れたい音や心地よい声でぐっすり眠りたい音にぴったりなのだ。ヘッドホンやイヤホンを使うともっとリラックスできるかもしれないのだ。でもね、寝る準備ができたらそのまま聞いてリラックスしてほしいのだ。聞きながら眠っちゃっても全然大丈夫なのだ。それじゃあ一緒にリラックスした時間を楽しむのだ。ではでは始めるのだ。
The Adventures of Tom and Lucy. Tom and Lucy were best friends. They lived in a small village surrounded by green hills and a big, sparkling lake. Every day after school, they went on adventures together. This is the story of one of their most exciting days. It was a warm summer morning. The sun was shining, and the birds were singing. Tom and Lucy met at their favorite tree, a big oak near the edge of the village. Tom carried a backpack, and Lucy had a map in her hands. Today, we are going to find the hidden waterfall, said Lucy with excitement. Tom nodded. I heard it's the most beautiful place in the forest. Let's go. They started walking into the forest. The trees were tall, and their leaves made a soft rustling sound in the wind. The path was narrow but clear, and the map showed them the way. Along the way, they saw squirrels jumping from tree to tree and heard the distant call of an owl. After an hour of walking, they reached a small stream. The water was cool and clear. Let's take a break here, said Lucy. She took out some sandwiches from her bag, and Tom shared his water bottle. They sat on the grass and enjoyed their lunch while listening to the sound of the stream. When they were ready to continue, Lucy pointed to a small wooden bridge. The map says we need to cross that bridge. They carefully walked across the bridge. It creaked a little, but it was sturdy. On the other side, the forest became denser. The sunlight barely reached the ground, and the air was cool. They followed the map, and soon they heard the sound of water. We are close, said Tom, walking faster. After a few more minutes, they saw it, the hidden waterfall. It was taller than they imagined, and the water sparkled in the sunlight. There were colorful flowers growing around it, and a rainbow appeared in the mist. Tom and Lucy were amazed. It's so beautiful, whispered Lucy. They spent the afternoon exploring the area. Tom found smooth, shiny stones near the water, and Lucy picked some wildflowers. They even saw a family of deer drinking from the stream. As the sun began to set, they decided to head back. "We should come here again," said Tom. "Yes, and next time, we can bring our friends," replied Lucy. They walked back to the village, tired but happy. Their adventure to the hidden waterfall was a day they would never forget. And so, Tom and Lucy continued their tradition of exploring the wonders of the world around them. The Mystery of the Old Library. It was a rainy afternoon in the small town of Greenfield. The sky was dark, and the streets were empty. Tom and Lucy were at the town library, a large old building with tall windows and wooden floors. They often visited the library after school, but today felt different. As they walked through the aisles of books, Lucy stopped in front of a dusty shelf. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a book with a strange symbol on its cover. Tom picked up the book and opened it. Inside, there was a map and a note that read, "Solve the puzzle, and you will find the treasure." "A treasure hunt?" said Tom, his eyes wide with excitement. "We have to do this." The map showed the layout of the library, but there were hidden rooms marked with X's. Tom and Lucy decided to follow the map. Their first stop was the basement. They found a door marked "Staff Only." Lucy pushed it open, and they stepped into a dark, dusty room. Using the flashlight on Tom's phone, they searched the room and found an old chest. Inside was a key and another note. "The next clue is where stories begin." Where stories begin. Lucy thought for a moment. The fiction section. They hurried upstairs to the fiction section. There, they found a book with the same symbol as the one on the map. Inside the book was another clue. "Look under the place where knowledge is stored." Tom smiled. The main desk. They ran to the main desk and looked underneath. Sure enough, there was a small box. Inside was the final clue. "Find the room with the largest window." The largest window was in the reading room. When they got there, they saw a hidden panel on the wall. Using the key from the basement, They opened the panel and found a small box filled with gold coins and a note. "Congratulations. You have solved the mystery of the old library." Tom and Lucy couldn't believe it. They had found a real treasure. They decided to share their discovery with the librarian, who told them the treasure had been hidden for over 100 years. It was a day they would never forget, and from that moment on, Tom and Lucy became the town's favorite adventurers. Exploring the Enchanted Forest. Tom and Lucy had heard many stories about the enchanted forest near their village. Some people said it was magical, while others believed it was dangerous. One sunny morning, they decided to explore it for themselves. They packed their bags with snacks, water, and a compass. As they entered the forest, they noticed how quiet it was. The trees were tall, and their branches formed a canopy that blocked out most of the sunlight. "This place feels different," said Lucy, looking around. They followed a narrow path and soon came to a clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a small pond with crystal clear water. Around the pond were flowers that glowed softly, even in the daylight. "Wow," said Tom. "I've never seen anything like this." As they moved closer, they heard a soft voice. "Welcome, travelers." Startled, they looked around but saw no one. Then, a small figure appeared. It was a fairy, no taller than a pencil, with shimmering wings. "Who are you?" asked Lucy. "I am the guardian of the enchanted forest," said the fairy. "You have entered a magical place." The fairy explained that the forest was full of wonders but also challenges. If they wished to explore further, they would need to complete 3 tasks. Their first task was to find a golden leaf. Tom and Lucy searched the forest and finally found one high in a tree. Tom climbed up and carefully brought it down. The second task was to solve a riddle. The fairy asked, "What has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees? Up, up it goes, and yet it never grows." Lucy thought for a moment and then said, "A mountain." "Correct," said the fairy. For the final task, they had to help a lost deer find its way back to its family. Using their compass and map, Tom and Lucy guided the deer through the forest. When they succeeded, the fairy appeared again. "You have proven yourselves kind and clever," said the fairy. "The forest is now open to you." Tom and Lucy spent the rest of the day exploring the magical forest. They saw glowing mushrooms, talking animals, and even a hidden castle. When they returned home, they promised to keep the forest's secrets safe. The Secret Garden. Tom and Lucy had heard rumors about a secret garden hidden in the heart of their village. It was said to be full of rare plants, colorful flowers, and magical creatures. One afternoon, they decided to find it. Their search began at the old stone wall behind the village church. The wall was covered in ivy, and Lucy noticed a small wooden door hidden beneath the vines. "This must be it," she exclaimed. Tom pushed the door, but it wouldn't budge. Then Lucy spotted a rusty keyhole. "Maybe the key is nearby," she said. They searched the area and found a small, rusty key under a pile of stones. Tom inserted the key into the lock, and with a creak, the door opened. The garden was breathtaking. There were flowers in every color of the rainbow, fountains with crystal clear water, and trees with golden leaves. Butterflies and birds flew around, and the air smelled of fresh blossoms. In the center of the garden, there was a stone bench and a plaque that read, "Welcome to the Garden of Dreams." Tom and Lucy explored every corner of the garden. They found a small pond with fish that glowed in the dark and a tree with fruit they had never seen before. Lucy tasted one and said, "It's the sweetest fruit I've ever eaten." As they wandered deeper into the garden, they discovered a hidden cave. Inside, they found a treasure chest. It contained old coins, a diary, and a locket. The diary belonged to the garden's creator, a kind old woman who loved nature and wanted to share its beauty. Tom and Lucy decided to take the locket to the village museum so everyone could learn about the garden's history. The villagers were thrilled, and the garden became a protected place for all to enjoy. The Time Traveler's Watch. One afternoon, Tom and Lucy visited an antique shop at the edge of the village. The shop was full of old clocks, mysterious artifacts, and dusty books. While exploring, Lucy found a small, intricate watch with a glowing blue face. "What's this?" she asked the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper smiled. "Ah, that's no ordinary watch. Legend says it can take you to any time you desire." Tom laughed. "That sounds like a story." But Lucy, curious, turned the watch's dial. Suddenly, a bright light surrounded them, and when it faded, they were no longer in the antique shop. Instead, they were standing in a bustling market filled with people in medieval clothing. "Where are we?" asked Tom. Lucy looked around. "I think we're in the past." They walked through the market, amazed by the sights and sounds. There were merchants selling colorful fabrics, street performers juggling fire, and knights in shining armor. But they didn't have long to explore before a voice called out to them. "Hey, you two. You don't belong here, do you?" It was a young woman in a cloak. "Follow me if you want to stay safe." The woman led them to a quiet alley and explained that the watch had taken them to the 14th century. "You're lucky I found you," she said. "Time travelers often get into trouble here." She helped them blend in by giving them period-appropriate clothing and showed them how to use the watch to return home. But before they left, Lucy and Tom decided to leave a mark on history. They helped the woman deliver a message to a local lord, preventing a conflict in the village. When they returned to the present, they found themselves back in the antique shop. The shopkeeper smiled knowingly. "Enjoy your journey?" he asked. Tom and Lucy nodded, still in awe of their adventure. They decided to keep the watch, knowing they might one day use it again to explore another time. The Magical Music Box. It was a chilly autumn afternoon when Tom and Lucy stumbled upon a small, hidden shop in the village. The shop was filled with strange items, but what caught Lucy's eye was a beautifully carved wooden music box sitting on a dusty shelf. "Look at this," said Lucy, picking it up. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with kind eyes, approached them. "That music box is special," he said. "It plays a melody that can bring forgotten memories to life." Curious, Tom and Lucy bought the music box and brought it home. That evening, they wound it up and let it play. The melody was soft and enchanting, filling the room with warmth. As the music played, something amazing happened. The room around them began to change. They found themselves standing in a sunny meadow, surrounded by flowers. It was a place Lucy remembered from her childhood but hadn't thought about in years. "This is my grandparents' farm," she said, her voice full of wonder. They explored the meadow and even saw Lucy's younger self playing with the puppy. It felt like stepping into a dream. But as the melody faded, the scene disappeared, and they were back in Lucy's living room. Excited by their discovery, they decided to wind the music box again. This time, it transported them to Tom's memory of a family picnic by the lake. They could hear the laughter, see the colorful blankets, and even taste the sandwiches. Each time they played the music box, it took them to a different memory, some happy and some bittersweet. They realized the music box was a treasure, not just because it was magical, but because it reminded them of the importance of cherishing their past. Eventually, they decided to share the music box with their family and friends. Each person who listened to its melody was able to relive a special memory, bringing joy and connection to everyone who experienced its magic.